my friends, this is video number 2 for today in lovely, wonderful New Zealand. So welcome. Let me get my lighting fixed. Oh, there we go. Right, I haven't done a video on this for a while. A live reply to my atheist friend, Brabble Beast. So, sorry it's taken me over 5 days, or 5 days to get back to you. Now, Brabble Beast, I might call him BB, not the blues singer. We've been going back and forth for a while on evolution and how whether there is a not on evolution, on atheism. I say there is a God, he says there isn't. I say there's proof of creation, he says there's proof of evolution. Correct me if I'm wrong, Frank. I think it's Frank, wasn't it? Anyway, this is in reply to a video I did when? I don't know. Some time ago. Okay, so Brabble Beast replies, "Hello Dean, again thank you for your extensive response. I love talking about evolution, and even though I don't consider myself an expert on the subject in any way, I do believe I know quite a lot about it due to the amount of time I've been researching it out of personal interest, my profession, and my educations. I'm not an expert in anything apart from driving people up the wall and making people mad. But I know why I believe what I believe, and what I believe is evolution is the biggest load of nonsense and rubbish I have ever heard in my life. Based on my personal investigations, etc. I'm perfectly willing to hear or see any bit of evidence for evolution or that disproves the existence of God. So I hope you guys are at least open-minded enough to do the same. Now, BB said, quote, "The moment you started to describe what you consider evolution to be, I already became quite wary. Ooh, because I thought I could hear a heavy influence of Kent Hovind. And since you've provided a link to his material on my other comment, this has been confirmed." Am I influenced by Kent Hovind? I don't know. I love Mr. Hovind. I love his material. He provides, in my eyes, conclusive evidence that evolution is rubbish and that creation is scientifically the only option as to why we are here. Am I a Hovinite or a follower of him? No. There are things I disagree with. There are things in his personal life that I disagree with. Just as there'll be some things in my personal life that you disagree with. So, I have been to prison for 1 year. That was probably about 11 years ago, for possession of something I shouldn't have. This was before I became a Christian. So does that mean everything I say is a lie? No. Now, I haven't read the rest of your comment yet. I've got that on another window. but I'm going to assume that you're going to bring up his tax records or tax fraud case and the fact that he spent 9 years in prison, and because of that, everything he says is rubbish. And he's not to be trusted, and yeah, he's a very terrible person. Let's see if I was right. I know I said I don't like making ad hominem attacks, but, now hang on, you made a statement, but then you used the word but, which basically means ignore everything before this. I know I said I don't like making ad hominem attacks, but when it comes to Kent Hovind, I honestly think that guy is a joke. Don't get me wrong, I know he is, or at least was, a skilled debater, a smooth talker with a quick wit and a good sense of humour. But when it comes to substance, he really is a joke. I'd really like to hear one thing that he has said about evolution and the science community that is a joke. If you could do that for me, that would be brilliant. Smooth talker. I can be a smooth talker. I'm sure you can be a smooth talker. Being a smooth talker is not necessarily a bad thing. He still is a skilled debater. Dare I say, I think he was better before his imprisonment. I don't know. Sense of humour, yes. Quick wit, yes. How I came to know him, I was attending a church and someone gave me a set of his DVDs. And I thought, oh, evolution, boring. So it was sort of sitting on my shelf some time, and I think I had nothing else better to do, and I was bored, so I stuck it on. And after 5 minutes, I was hooked. This guy gave scientific evidence. He provided it in a way that was very interesting and exciting, and he was easy to listen to. And I haven't looked back since. Have you watched his DVD series, or have you just heard bits and pieces? At least watch the first one, or the second one, The Age of the Earth. Age of the Earth, Kent Hovind. Yeah, the Earth cannot be any more than 6 or 7,000 years old. His arguments, you say, and views have been debunked so often and so thoroughly, time and time again, it's not even funny anymore. I've yet to see him being debunked on anything. Some things that he has said, and other people have said, no, that's wrong, and this is why. Those reasons why they think that he's wrong are not valid reasons. Like I said, I've yet to see anyone prove anything he has said wrong. And I'm not being rude here, my brother. Oh, you're not my brother, my friend. But you've done the same as most other Hovind haters. You've said everything he said is wrong, or has been disproven, or proven wrong, or debunked. What? Be specific. Name one thing and show me. Don't give me a whole list of stuff to read, hoping that I won't read it, because I probably won't. But just one thing that he has said that is wrong, and show me evidence that it is wrong. Don't point me to another website where I have to, take a science degree or something to read. You should be able to, easily debunk something within a few sentences. So, Frank, if I remember your name is Frank, please do that. Show me one thing that Mr. Kent Hovind, or Dr. Hovind, whatever you want to keep it, it's irrelevant. Mr. Hovind has said about evolution that is wrong. And show me, please. And let's discuss it. Nearly all of his claims are based on misinformation, misrepresentation of science, or straight out falsehoods. Okay, so either he's ignorant or he's lying. If a peer-reviewed scientific journal said that watermelons are blue on the inside until the skin is broken, then they turn red, would you believe that? How would you prove them wrong? So if your views on evolution are based on the information of the likes of Kent Hovind or others like him, like Ray Comfort or Ken Ham, I don't think I've listened to either of those at any great length. I can understand why evolution looks stupid, since you've been fed a constant stream of misinformation. That's something that is something that you have yet to prove, my friend. Okay, what is your definition of the word evolution? If you mean speciation, yes, that happens. We see brown dogs, white dogs, big dogs, short-hair dogs, no-hair dogs. They're still a dog. How can you say that a cat, a wolf, a coyote, an elephant, and a banana are related or have a common ancestor millions of years ago, far away? How can you say that? A dog, a wolf, and a coyote probably had a ancestor because they're the same kind of animal, canine. Same with the feline kind. Now I think I did read something about definition of kind. As Mr. Hovind said, that would be a good area to spend money on. What is a kind? According to the Bible, which I know you reject, a kind is an animal that was originally able to reproduce itself, as in the same kind of animal. Kind, how do you classify what is a kind? How we classify them and how God classifies them is probably way different. But I think you would agree that a 5-year-old, sorry, I'm a fidgeter. I think a 5-year-old would know that a wolf, a coyote, a dog, and an elephant, and you ask them which one is not like the others, I think every single 5 or 6-year-old will say the elephant. Even they know, but they can't explain it. I probably can't explain it to you scientifically, and I don't think you could either. But I think you know what I mean by kind. Let's discuss the things you mentioned about evolution. Evolution is not the counterpart of theism. These two views aren't mutually exclusive, which is clear if you consider that the vast majority of people that see evolution as the most likely explanation of how life started and developed here on Earth are in fact theists. For them, evolution is just the tool God has used. So no, it isn't evolution versus God, but rather evolution versus some of the literal claims of the Bible, which is why so many Christians have a problem with that particular scientific conclusion and want to discredit it. Okay, that was question number 1. Hang on, I need to. Oh, what am I doing, Lee? Stop it. Sorry, I'm trying to make the print on the screen just a little bit bigger because I'm old. Okay. That didn't work. Frank, or Brabble Beast. You are right. It's not evolution versus theism as such. Well, it is, because God said he made everything in 6 literal 24-hour days. If a Christian says, well, no, he didn't, it took millions of years, and actually the word day means a long period of time, then you may be a Christian, but you're an ignorant Christian. And I don't mean that word in a rude, derogatory manner. I mean you are without knowledge. The Greek word, I believe, is yom, which can mean a 24-hour day or a long period of time. I'll grant you that. But when it is preceded, yom, when it is preceded before with a number or a numerical indicator, it means 24 hours. Otherwise, you totally destroy the Hebrew language. The first day, the second day, the third day. 3 24-hour literal days. If you think that, and I'm talking to you Christians out there who believe in evolution, if you think that God couldn't get it right first and had to rely on chance, luck, and millions of things dying before, he got it right, I'm sorry, you're deluded. God got it right first time. Because he said after each of the days, and God saw, and it said it was good. If something had to struggle to keep evolving, it wasn't good. Oh, excuse me. So it isn't evolution versus God. It is really, unless you want to go by majority opinion. Oh, the majority of Christians believe in evolution. Well, that's because they don't know any better. And they have been brainwashed by the school system, by the religion of the country. Evolutionism. Sorry, God got it right first time. Now, what I'm saying is one of the evidences, just one, why I believe in God is evolution, and how absolutely ridiculous and impossible that is. What I mean by evolution is, I've got it in a WordPad somewhere, that once upon a time, millions of years ago, you know the story, there was a big bang, and all the matter in the universe was compacted into something as smaller as a period on a page. And it exploded, and from that, the the earth came together and it was a hot molten mess, and it rained and it cooled down and rained on the rocks for millions of years and formed a soup, and lightning hit the soup and somehow it came alive and things crawled out of the water and then evolved into something else, into something else, into something else, and here we are. They now say that nothing exploded. So, in my position, in the beginning, God. In your position, in the beginning, nothing exploded and became something. Correct me if I'm wrong, and I do have those quotes from scientific journals or publications somewhere. I tried to find it the other day and couldn't, but I do have it somewhere. This is Brabble Beast, his point number 2 on... Sorry, I'll put a link up in reply to that video I did. When speaking of evolution in science, there is generally only one subject meant. Not from what I've heard, and that is the biological theory of evolution. Okay. What about the evolution of the universe? The universe isn't biological. Or is it? Anyway, the word evolution is a great word to describe development over time. So not every scientific field that uses the word evolution is the same or even remotely connected to the theory of evolution. I disagree. Well, I don't know. I disagree that your definition is the main one. That it concerns biology. It's a bit more than changes over time. Sorry, you say development over time. I would agree with that to a certain degree, but there are limits. You get half a dozen dogs, wait 1 million years, and look at that population, they're still going to be dogs. There'll be different shapes, different sizes, different types, or different species, but they're still going to be dogs. So we agree. Changes over time. There'll be small dogs, big dogs, that's a change, but to say that at one point in time a dog or something stopped being that something and became something else is complete fairy tale. That suddenly a dog became a non-dog. Now, okay, changes over millions of years. I know what you guys say, but there has to be a point in time, a birth of an animal, where someone has decided that is a non-dog. You also have the evolution of dance or evolution of music, or many other similar topics. This doesn't make them related to biological evolution in any way. Yeah, okay. So fields like cosmology, astronomy, astrophysics, quantum physics, abiogenesis, etc. shouldn't be mentioned when you are talking about evolution. They absolutely should. Unless you deliberately want to obscure or muddle the conversation like Hovind does. No, how did the universe evolve? How did that one speck of matter evolve into the earth? How did the moon evolve to become the moon? No, I think you have to, if you're just going to stick with the biological argument, you leave a lot of questions hanging and unanswered. You mentioned the Big Bang. I certainly do, and he's coming back soon, and you better be saved when he does. Besides the previous mentioned fact that this has nothing to do with evolution, it does have something to do with evolution. The Big Bang Theory created the elements that made up you and me. It created the Earth, the moon, the stars, the sun, which we all need. If it wasn't for the Big Bang, there would be no evolution. What exploded? Where did it explode into? You already managed to copy 2 false claims. Nowhere in the actual science is mentioned that the Big Bang started from nothing. And it wasn't an explosion. It absolutely was, my friend. I'm just trying to find it. Bear with me. Before the Big Bang, the universe existed as an incredibly small singularity. Ooh! So without that singularity doing something other than what singularities do, which I think is just exist, what is a singularity? Show me one. We wouldn't be here. So I'm sorry, the Big Bang is important. Whoever made that comment existed as an incredibly small singularity. You can't prove that. You don't know. I'm getting quite a bit of stuff here from Stephen Hawking. Brilliant mind. Okay, nothing there on Hawking. I think Hawkins said that physicists debate Hawkins' idea that the universe had no beginning. So if the universe had no beginning, how would you prove that? Where did space, matter, and time come from? I'm going to quote Hovind now. If you had matter but no space, where would you put it? If you had matter and space but no time, when would you put it? So really, the fact that we have scientists debating or questioning other scientists prove one thing. They've got no idea. But the Big Bang Theory is taught as a fact. Oh, I wish I could find my document that stated, that showed the textbooks. Sorry, that showed textbooks saying that the Big Bang came from nothing. I really want to find this. Oh, where is it? Bear with me, Frank. And if I've got your name wrong, I'm sorry. find it. Oh, it might be in my, it might be called Big Bang. The Big Bang Theory. Here we go. Yeah, oh, praise the Lord. Found it. Okay. Are you ready? Pretense Hall, General Science, 1992. Quote, all the matter in the universe was concentrated into one very dense, very hot region that may have been much smaller than a period on this page. Again, someday, after many billions of years, all the matter and energy will once again be packed into a small area no larger than the period at the end of this sentence. In New Zealand, we call these full stops, not periods. Then another Big Bang will occur. It happens every 80 to 100 billion years. Prentice Hall, General Science, 1992. So what they are basically saying is, you see, one day nothing exploded and here we are. None of that is provable. Discover magazine. Okay, Discover magazine. April 2002. Where did everything come from? Boys and girls, the universe burst into something from absolutely nothing. Zero. Nada. As it got bigger, it became filled with even more stuff that came from absolutely nowhere. How is that possible? Ask Alan Guth. His theory will explain everything. So Alan Guth said in Scientific American, May 1984, page 128, quote, the observable universe could have evolved from an infinitesimal region. In other words, a dot. He then said, it's then tempting, indigestion. It's then tempting to go one step further and speculate that the entire universe evolved from literally nothing. Right. I've made a quote from somebody that backs up what I said. So yes, there we go. 4. The idea of a primordial soup was uttered by Charles Darwin as just a way he could imagine life could come about naturally. This was a mere guess of him. Did he say this is a guess? The field of abiogenesis deals with the hypotheses, the guess, that biological chemistry or life came from non-organic chemistry. Right, so basically life came from non-life. Show me any instance show me any evidence in the entire history of the Earth, whether it's 7,000 or 76 trillion years old, where we have observed life coming from non-life, my friend. But we haven't got any confirmed conclusion about this. So why do you guys teach it in the textbooks as fact? I think I'm scaring my cat. Why don't these people who write these fairy tales in scientific journals say this is just one theory of many? It could have been a deity, or it could have been this. No, they only show one side. That's not education, that's indoctrination. So while the idea of a soup being hit by lightning has been mentioned as possibility? No. It's mentioned as fact. These are just hypotheses. Not in the children's scientific books, they're not. We simply don't know for certain yet. At last, sorry, I'm not having a go at you, mate. That's honest. We don't know. So until you guys know, stay away from the subject. One day we may find evidence, and you may not. So don't say anything. Leave origins out of the schools. We simply don't know for certain yet. What I do know is that nowhere is it mentioned that rocks came alive or that we evolved from a rock. You're correct that it's not what they say, but they say that it rained on the rocks for millions of years and washed all minerals and chemicals from the rocks into the soup. So part of your makeup is a rock. So yes, you have a rock in your family tree. I don't. What we do know is that organic chemistry and organic compounds, which are needed for life, can arise from non-organic chemistry. Prove it, Frank. What you're saying is life or life-giving compounds can come from non-life or non-living compounds. Prove it. 5. Creationists love the word kind, in my opinion, because they can hide behind its vagueness. I don't know what Christians you have talked to about kind, but I've shown you why I believe. Sorry. I've shown you what I consider to be kind. Can you? Is everything that lives in the sea a fish? What about whales? Is everything with a vertebrae one kind of animal? I think you would have some serious issues there. I think a kind is something that was originally able to reproduce. Things have diversified. In other words, they have changed over time. I grant you that, and sometimes they can no longer interbreed with each other, but they're still the same kind of animal. They're still a dog, or a rabbit, or a hedgehog, okay, or a tree. Not the trees reproduce as such, but do you at least get where I'm coming from? The word kind has no consistent, accurate definition and seems to shift meaning to whatever suits the discussion at the moment. My question to you would be, what is your definition of the word kind? I just gave it to you. I believe a kind is something that was originally able to reproduce and probably still can. Of the same type of animal. Like I said, if you get half a dozen dogs and come back and just, look after them, and your ancestors, your forward ancestors look after them and what have you, even in 100 or 1,000 years, 1,000,000 years even, they're still going to be a pack of dogs. They're not going to be anything different or anything other than their kind, a dog. I agree the word kind can be very ambiguous. Is that the word I want? I don't know. I'm not very good at English either. Sorry, you're very good. Anyone can see a cat, a lion, a tiger, and a dog are two different kinds of animals. You would agree with that. You would have to agree with that. 6-year-olds would agree with that. So that's what I consider a kind. Whether you agree with that or not, it's fine. I don't agree with your definition of evolution. Big deal. We're still mates. Okay, number 6. Last question, Rebel. Oh, sorry. Rebel Beast. What is, according to you, the difference between macroevolution and microevolution, or speciation, or variation, or adaptation, or whatever label you want to give it? And more importantly, what causes this difference? Great. I can't remember. I think one means changes within a kind, the other, or changes at species level, and another is changes outside of the species level. Correct me if I'm wrong. I think macro means changes within the same gene pool, as in big dogs, little dogs, what have you, but changes outside, only one of those we observe. Let's look up the definitions online. Macroevolution refers to evolution of groups larger than an individual species. Okay, so what about microevolution? Let's have a look. Microevolution is the change in allele frequencies that occurs over time. See, there's your God. My God is Jehovah. Your God is time. Without time, your religion, and I'm not being rude, falls apart. As mine would if there is no God. This over time, within a population, I would say then that it's macroevolution. Oh, here we go. We've got graphics. I don't know how to put them on here yet. Here, fantastic. Microevolution is all dogs have a common ancestor. It was a dog or a canine. Macroevolution is dogs, dinosaurs, plants, fruit, vegetables are related. Basically, that's Darwin. Yeah, fantastic. Here we go. I'm looking at a picture now on evolutionofthedog.weebly.com, and I'm looking at a picture of, what have I looked? Wolf ancestor, and underneath there's all different types of dogs: herding dogs, hound dogs, sporting dogs, working dogs, ancient Asiatics, and modern wolves. I agree with that. So if your definition of evolution is microevolution, then we both agree. Okay, that happens. And yeah, the debate's over. So those are the two differences. According to science, here we go, here's another one on Wiley Online Library. Microevolution is within species variation, and then it seems like speciation means going from that to between species variation. I think they're using the word species very deceitfully, just as you're implying that I'm using the word kind deceitfully. So, physician, heal thyself. Let me know if you know what that phrase means. I'm just going to have a look to see if I can download this picture. There we go. So yeah, I would agree with that. Apart from the definition of species. So yeah, that's what I consider that. Okay, speciation. Well, I'm going to have to look up that word, but variations or adaptations. Okay, I've told you that. Herding dogs, lap dogs, hound dogs, security dogs, that are bred to be more vicious. I would say that would be variation. Adaptation, yeah, or whatever label you give it, and more importantly, what causes this difference. There are many things that could cause this difference. I'm just trying to think of a few, my friend. Geographic location. Dogs would adapt by growing longer hair or fur, become like thicker body mass, and I'm thinking of the huskies. Did huskies evolve in the desert? Do you see where I'm coming from? I think man can selectively breed different characteristics into or out of dogs or cats or animals or what have you, and I would say that would be I would say that would be variation. Adaptation, yeah, adapting to its environment. Same with horses, I think, as well. And goats, mountain goats, I think, would they be different to normal goats I see down the road here? Would they have stronger leg muscles or something, or different types of hooves or hoofs? So yeah, there are many things but just time. Why would something change just because of time? In the 6,000 years of man's recorded history, humans have always produced humans. There's no reason to change. Okay, so we've gone on for nearly an hour, so you finish off by saying, as I said before, I love this topic and I'm very curious about your more extensible views on it. Best wishes from the Netherlands. Oh, I'd love to visit the Netherlands. Oh, all those lovely tulips and food. Oh, lovely. I hope that's helped you a bit. Sorry if I seem rude or confrontational. I am passionate. Don't mistake passion for aggressiveness, my friend. I would like more questions from you, like the last two. We can debate definitions all day long. Well, I can show you, scientific evidence for what I believe. You can show me scientific evidence for what you believe, and we'll end up just going around in a circle, and it's not going to help anyone. So if you have any questions on why I believe in God, why I believe creation, be specific. Remember, list me one thing that Mr. Hovind has said that is not true, and let's talk about it. I think to everyone else watching, this is a prime example of how two people in different parts of the world with completely different beliefs can have a civil, polite discussion. I don't attack anyone because they're an atheist. And I don't want people attacking me because I believe in God. I don't think you're stupid for believing. Well, I do, but you would say I'm stupid for believing what I believe. It's a joke. Okay, so look after yourself, and yeah, I look forward to hearing from you.